What?
You're green.
I am.
Seeing a thin person isn't nearly as damaging as hearing the women close to you commenting on a person's body.
I, for one, am so sorry that you have been forced to live with this.
We can view thin bodies, we can view larger bodies, we could view round bodies and square bodies and all kinds of different shapes and colors of bodies. And that isn't a damaging experience. The damaging experience is when we assign any kind of blame or morality or health judgment.
Look at you. You're beautiful.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Thick Thighs Save Lives podcast. I'm Kelsey.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, girls. I am coming in hot. You know why? I'm Rachel, and
Rachel.
Here's why. I'm going to explain myself. And you guys know, because it's January. So, when you get sick for like a week and you can't even walk past a mirror because you're so dirty and smelly and ugly and pale and the snots, and like your legs are hairy and you're just unkept. You know what I'm talking about? Do you still shave your legs when you're sick?
You know what? I mean, I think I do.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing.
Oh my
if
God.
you ever feel that way, I was just talking to my best friend about that this morning, that like it's amazing what a little self tanner can do.
Okay, I know. That's what I was getting to next, okay?
Oh, you were? Okay, I didn't know if that's
I didn't
where
know
you were
people
headed.
were shaving their legs while they were sick. I had to pause on that for a second.
Well, you don't need to. But sometimes it just
Ew.
makes me feel better that it's soft underneath my sweatpants.
Oh my God. Screw you. Anyway, so I was sick for a minute and then I took the everything shower and that's why I'm here today going, hey, 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 because, there's nothing better. I still don't really feel that good, but it doesn't matter.
Once you get past the
It doesn't
everything
matter.
shower, though, you really come out the other end.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
did take the everything shower too, and I was like, I'm going to share this here, but it's embarrassing. My hair was so dirty that like
maybe less time shaving your legs.
But the hair washing is a real commitment. Like, you're just in there anyway, you know what I mean?
True.
But, like, you don't have to, like, fully get and then you think about, like, do I have to blow dry it after this? The answer to that for me is, like,
yes.
I didn't that day, but it was so dirty that, like, my daughter was, like, laying in bed, and she's like, "Your hair smells." I was like, "Well, don't get in on your face in it."
Why are you in my bed? Yo, why are you in my bed? Explain yourself. Why are you here? You don't want to smell this here? Then go sit in your own bed. That's what I have to say. You don't like the smells in here? Then see yourself out.
Oh my God. I'm like, okay, well, way to wake up to that.
Wow.
But cool.
Wow.
Did your mic just shut off?
Oh, did it?
I think you're here. So it just, I don't know what happened.
What the hell? I'm trying to come back from an everything shower. I'm trying to come back from the dead here.
Yeah,
you're what?
You're trying to come back.
Yeah, like what? Why are you trying to put me back down?
You know what? I think that you look great.
Oh,
just
thanks.
saying.
And
no, you're not feeling great, but the first start to feeling great is really that everything shower. So, everyone wondering what you're doing in the blues of the winter. The everything shower is a great place to start.
Yeah.
Seasonal depression is not a myth. So, for everyone in the cold climates, like, get outside. You know what? I was saying this, it's funny that the ways that you think about like the sun and things when you grow up in the Northeast rather than when you come down to Florida, because my partner's like, the sun is just bad for your eyes. And we always need to wear sunglasses. It's like a whole thing. And I was like, like, just gave him the little, like, "Eh," and he was like, "In what way would the sun," and I was like, "Well, you absorb a lot of your
Vitamin D.
vitamin D
Mhm.
through
Through your
your
eyes.
eyes."
Most, I
And
think.
yes,
Mhm.
so but, like, for people who don't have a vitamin D shortage that live in the South, wouldn't even it doesn't really cross their mind because they spend such a significant amount of time their whole year includes the sun, right? Our whole year includes the sun. Um
Look at all your excess vitamin D running
Yeah.
around in full excess, just going like, "No, no, that's too much now. No,
Mm-mm.
thank you. I need to
And
shield all that excess feel-good vitamins that make me healthy and strong. I have enough."
But when you're in the Northeast, like, you have to pay attention to sometimes of the year when you don't wanna just wear sunglasses all the time because you need vitamin D absorption through your eyes. So, it's just kinda, like, funny some of the things that you pick up on. So, I do like to remember my gals that are in the Northeast that, are in their Januaries and are trying to start something new and keep getting sick and cold and, um, need a little sunshine in your
Can
life.
anyone else not say vitamin D in front of their husband? I'll give you some vitamin D. No, that's vitamin D absorption? No, I don't know. I don't know. That's no okay, so it's no one else. Okay. Alright, well, we've cleared that up. Now I'm on an
No.
island with hairy legs while I'm sick, being harassed when I'm talking about vitamin D. Okay, fine. Fine. Fine.
No,
I
I
don't
think a
care.
lot of people are resonating with you right now,
Do
like,
you know what I added to my everything shower? Like, if I'm gonna commit to the whole thing,
what?
I do a shower steamer in there. It's like a little puck, little hockey puck
You put it in there and it
in the
kind of, like,
shower.
comes
Yeah,
up from the bot that
yeah.
is
I
luxury.
have multiple scents, for your mood. Am I
Yeah.
waking up? Am I going to sleep? Am I stressed? Am I there's even cold fighter ones, like if you're stuffy.
Oh, you do this outside of cold fighting?
Oh,
You
yeah.
live elite level self-care. I would
Yeah, I
say
know, I
you
know.
are on, like, elite level
Yeah,
self-care.
yeah.
I am mid-range, but I do
No,
find
low,
what?
low to
I'm
mid.
low? I'm low?
Yeah.
I have a foot mask.
Okay, you do those things, like, once every 5 years, and then you're like, "Look at me go. I'll do this
Luxury.
more." And
Mhm.
then, like, a butterfly goes by and you forget.
Ta ta ta. It's true. I don't have anything in my shower, but I would like to, and I do feet masks, and I actually pulled the internet, and there are a lot of people out there who are not doing a feet mask and think that's weird, and I really want to implore you guys to, like and Rachel says once every 5 years. Multiple times a year, I do a feet mask, which apparently to Matt was, like, the weirdest thing ever, but the last one I did I don't know if you guys have ever done the one where your feet peel? Like, have you done the new feet?
Oh.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, it takes a couple weeks, and it is kinda weird because 'cause you're like a snake for a couple weeks, but that's only one that I do, like, what
Wait,
that's
a
not the
couple
you
your skin peels
continue
off
to
for
peel.
weeks?
Mhm. New skin you need the new skin.
Oh my god, though.
You need the new
Weeks, though?
Yeah, but it's so soft after, but you have to make sure, like, you don't have any this is, like, an intense one. You don't wanna do it if you have, like, cuts or anything
Oh
because it burns a
god.
little bit.
It's like the acid rain.
I mean,
Weeks of
yeah.
skin
Called, like,
falling off.
baby feet or something, like, it
Ow.
really it's your, like, once that's your, like, once a year, not every, like, 3 months. Like, your other, like, just maskies are more like, you know, every couple months, but this one, you're doing, like you're going for it, and your feet peel. People are gonna know what I'm talking about. Your feet peel for weeks, but like a snake, like, you take your sock off, and, like, you have, like, foot peelings in there.
Oh god.
You gotta
See,
do
I
it.
prefer if I could just like, I used to do, in elementary school, I used to put the Elmer's glue on my hand so I could just peel it off, but, like,
Yeah.
I
It's
wanna
gonna be
do
like
it, but then I wanna be done with that. Like, I don't wanna, like, be
for
surprised every day by, like, "Oh, more
Well, if you
more
give it a good
skin."
I
Well,
have, like, another brush, I'll get it, that'll more will come off, but then it will continue for a while, it does you can't really, like,
I don't think that one's for me.
You should try it, it's
I'll send you my shower
excellent.
steamers, though. I don't
I
care that
would
much
love
about
that.
my feet. I don't know. I don't know. I just
To carry
I
you
don't
through
know.
this life.
Yeah, I know, but, like, they're way down there, and I don't know.
Way down there.
Have you seen this? Like, I spend most of my time here.
Since
So,
I'm here.
speaking of being judged, is that just me?
Speaking of being judged, yep.
This is a weird one because we're gonna talk about the thing that we say that you can't talk about, which is like it's a little bit of a weird vibe. But
Dichotomy, if you will.
it's a
Mhm.
dichotomy, but it can't. All right, we're gonna present it in a new light of maybe a what to say instead, or just simply like a why we're not doing this. So we can't, because I feel like ignoring it is just kind of like brushing it aside as like if it's not happening or it's not a problem. And I don't want to ignore it, but I also don't want to give it life. So we're gonna try to do this in the best way we can. Um, but we are acknowledging that we are having a conversation about something that we are asking people to not to have a conversation about. So,
Yeah. But
um,
it's a current event right now that is in this space. So we're going to talk about, some of the Wicked stars, Wicked as in the movie, stars and their weight loss and some examples of celebrities and how we're talking about not only weight loss but changes in people's bodies. And this is a really hot topic right now because it's kind of leading the charge for, is skinny back? What is like, we're making all kinds of comments and judgments on people's bodies, on celebrities' bodies, of course. And we're going to talk about the impact that that has on us in our daily lives and what we're doing when we're commenting on other people's bodies.
So, if you have not seen, the second installment of the Wicked series has just come out. So, the two co-stars have been doing a lot of press and being on a lot of red carpets and being photographed a lot. Um, and this is kind of like the
That
second
sounds
inst
stressful.
sure does. You ever had a movie come out? I haven't. Um, but this is kind of the second installment of this happening as well because the first movie, when it released, we had this going. And then it seems to have picked up steam since then. And the second movie, I think people feel even more empowered to talk about the noticeable body changes that the two uh, stars, who are Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, they both have gone through some changes in their body that people are really honing in on and really wanting to talk about and really wanting to discuss in online forums. And here's the thing about that. Um, you can go back 5 years, 6 years on this podcast. The message from us is never going to change, and it's never changed in the course of this podcast. We don't discuss people's bodies. The end.
And you're not discussing them out of concern. You're not discussing them out of judgment. You're not discussing them out of what you know based on what you're seeing on a person that you don't actually even know, even if people that you do know. Like, that is not a reflection of, we're not passing moral judgment. We're not passing, there's so much, but this is it's just not what we're doing.
So, the reason why the episode doesn't end right there of like, this is not what we're doing, the end, goodbye, is because there is certainly a recognition when it comes to celebrities who are, let's do quote unquote, they they're in a kids movie, a movie aimed primarily at young girls, perhaps as the viewing audience.
Okay.
And the fact is that we have a culture in which celebrities are celebrated as role models. And whether or not they asked for that or whether or not that is solicited by them doesn't really matter because that is the culture. And so I think that where it gets fuzzy is when we say, okay, we're not commenting on anyone's body weight loss, weight gain, hair, makeup. Like, we're just not doing that. Where it gets fuzzy is that people, I think for this one, have kind of felt like they're taking their daughters and young girls to see this movie. The young girls are noticing some of these body changes, and there may be some hesitation as to A, how to talk about that if you do at all, and B, what kind of role model or example these women owe to the rest of society, that if they are presenting in a body image that could be deemed by some to be unhealthy, is that promoting that body image to our young girls, and what do we owe that as an explanation? And I think that's the discussion that we really wanted to have with this podcast. Not that we're ever going to discuss women's bodies, but what to do in the pretense that we're looking at young girls looking at celebrities. Like, what do we say?
I think there's a larger discussion too here of like what this is brought to the forefront of where we're headed. And that's kind of where it threw up some red flags for me, because women's bodies will never be good enough. They'll never be the right size. They'll never be uh, an endless amount of things. But when we see something from celebrities, and we start to see it more and more from celebrities, it's usually a reflection of where we're headed in what our discussions are, what are like but the body type that's becoming like in trend. And we would be remiss as a health and fitness podcast discussing the mental health and the physical health for women if we didn't recognize that we're headed in a direction that we've already been, and owning the fact that women's bodies will never be a trend. And this is our opportunity to reject the idea that this is a trend, that this is the trend that women's bodies are headed in. Because first of all, full stop, our bodies are not a trend. We're not judging the health of a body from the exterior. But when it comes to like where are we going and what's a representation, like it comes a lot from the celebrity gossip. It comes from what the celebrities are doing, and then we see a cultural shift. So something I really wanted to talk about when we're talking about our cultural shift and what historically has happened with women's bodies. Women's bodies have always been treated as public property. They are open for discussion. They're open for us to um for us to judge. Are they too big? Do they small? Does she have enough boobs? Does she have enough butt? Does she have like, it's always this kind of like open forum, public discussion of what we think she could improve with her body. And this isn't even just with celebrities. We do this a lot with, like, I hear this. She would look a lot better if she just did her eyebrows. Nobody asked you, first of all. And the idea that we have opened this line of communication up for everyone to comment on what they think she should or shouldn't be doing is essentially the problem. That's the crux of the problem.
We got to get down to the root issue. The root issue is not, are celebrities role models? The root issue is not, have they lost too much weight? Have they gained too much weight? Are they representing what we want them to represent for a future generation? So that's all a full stop, because the root of the problem is that no woman's body is ever or will ever be public property. It's not there for your discussion. And especially celebrity women are used and expected to represent something for an audience. You have to be what I want for my children. Maybe,
Yeah. No,
hold
hold on.
maybe you should do that first. And like the random actress who, like I think that, ultimately we need to check ourselves when we are using celebrities as representations of what we want to see in society, and holding them accountable with their body image and what they currently are looking like as what our goals are moving forward for our daughters. Like that can't be it.
You know what's really weird as I didn't plan to say this, but what's really weird as you're discussing it is we just don't, there's no equivalent to men's bodies. Like we don't do this on the other side. And we do it from a morality standpoint with their character and what they are putting out into the world. Like that when we see extremely misogynistic men or we see, really progressive feminist men, we do pass judgment on their character and the voices that they're putting out into this world. But that's what we want our young boys to feel like do or model. That's not what we want our young boys to model. But there really is an equivalent for like, this is what we want you. Any celebrity comes out either too heavy, too thin, too whatever, too muscular. I don't even know, because like it's not a topic of discussion of how they even just show up.
I've
It's the
never
content of
heard
what they're
of
doing.
I've never heard, and now we have multiple examples of male actors who have purposely changed their bodies for roles. Christian Bale is the one that comes to my mind because he had 2 movies back to back that required extreme
Yeah.
different body images. And it was praised. It was like, he's so dedicated to his craft. Look what he will do in dedication to acting. And never once did anyone discuss the potential impact on young boys if they saw Christian Bale be too thin for a role in a drug movie. Like, it was just I've never heard that mentioned. And, you know, obviously, when it comes to men, we are shifting the conversation towards like the art, the performance,
Yes.
and away from
The
the appearance,
content of
the
what they are
content.
saying. And it's just like, I don't know, I've heard so much discussion about Ariana Grande's, the main actresses in Wicked, so much discussion about their bodies and such limited discussion on the performance that they have created with this massive movie that is like a it's a moment in our culture right now. It is, the performances have been exquisite. The singing has been exquisite. It's like the performances are top notch, but there is so much less discussion on the art that they've created with their talent, and so much more discussion on what their body looks like and what that means to us and the rest. Like, what should we do next now that you are thin? Like, what?
Just keep on keeping on. I mean, but I do want to
And these
address,
are just people.
these are just people.
Like, let's just I just want to like Ariana Grande for a second. She's been in the limelight since she was 17 years old.
Yeah.
There is no doubt, and I just want to like humanize this for a second. There's no doubt that she's been public about the fact that she has had struggles with her body image. She's had struggled with her physical appearance, on commenting on if she's beautiful enough, if she can fix this, if she could only fix this, she'd be prettier, if she would get more roles, and blah, 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 blah. And then she fixed that and they picked something else, which is that just for every person, for every woman out there, you fix one thing, it's just another thing. But she has been open about her struggles when it comes to worrying about her weight and her like physical appearance and struggles with food. She's been open about that. And something that I just want to bring to the forefront when we're going to move into these like concerned moments, but like when we are anyone who's struggled with an eating disorder, and I will speak to this personally, when people make comments about your body, either good or bad, it just reinforces kind of this negative, um, it's all you're thinking about. Now it's all that people are going to comment about. And now it's just like this obsessive behavior that is being reinforced by whatever comment that you're making about their bodies. So if someone is struggling with their bodies, if your comment comes from concern, you're feeding the beast with your comment of concern.
So let's talk about that for a second, because I do think that it's not that you can't notice things.
Yeah.
Okay? It's okay, if people were saying, "Well, I saw her, before she started in the Wicked series, and then I saw her at the premiere, and I noticed that she looked different. There were changes. She was thinner. Okay, that's not the problem. The
That's not the
problem
problem.
is what noticing makes us feel entitled to do. And that is a dangerous snowballing effect, because a lot of times what you will hear from people that are commenting on other women's body image, either good or bad, negative or positive, is that they are doing so out of concern. Okay? This is faux concern, and I don't care how you say it.
Correct.
It's not real concern. You can say that it's coming from a place of concern, but if you don't personally know this woman, it's concern of how it's going to affect your life. Okay? I'm worried about her. She doesn't look well. She looks like she's under too much pressure. I'm worried about what my daughter will think when she sees her in the movie. Okay. They sound caring, these statements, and they may even feel caring when we're saying them, but they are still centered around using a woman's body as something to be evaluated, corrected, or explained.
100%.
You can frame it however you want to frame it, but no matter what, the crux of the issue is that you are giving yourself an excuse. We
Yeah.
are giving ourselves excuses when we comment on other people's bodies to use women's bodies as something that need to be corrected, that need to be explained, that need to be evaluated. And no one asked you
No
for that.
one asked you, and that in passing that judgment based on your own perception, like, we have to check ourselves, like, what is our own perception? What is our own thoughts about body image? What are we bringing into this conversation that is really, like, coming out with that sense of concern? Because I don't see quite as many, like, and this is just quite as many issues with, like, she doesn't look well, or she must be under a lot of pressure. If in the other side of that, if an actress came out after, doing a movie, and she had gained weight, would that look the same? She must be under so much pressure. I'm so concerned. Or would it be like, oh, or have we assigned some type of morality to that where, like, oh, did she let herself go? Or did we're doing this thing consistently where we're saying, like, this one's good, this one's bad. And now I've decided what that means to them in their life. You don't know shit.
So
Like,
not
we don't know
only
shit, and, like, we don't deserve, like, we are not owed an explanation as to why someone is living the way that they are in their body. Like, you are not owed an explanation.
none of us are. And using the word "I'm worried" or "I'm concerned" or that phrase doesn't magically make your speculation ethical, and it doesn't make it accurate. Whatever you say you think might be the reason is simply just speculation, because here's what we know. And you can also back up 5 years on this and we'll be saying the same thing. You cannot tell a person's health by simply viewing them. You just can't do that. So everything we are saying about someone being thin and that equaling them, being stressed or being overworked or being overwhelmed or not well, those are all speculation, because we can't tell. We have no information on any of her health markers. None. The only thing we are doing is making a blanket morality statement that if someone is thinner than they were before, that means that they're stressed. And none of this.
Or dependent on the circle that you're in, right? Like,
Right,
that
that's
means,
true.
like, she is depressed, she's depleted, she's whatever, or that means she's worked really hard, or, like,
Right.
must be just, like, a workhorse and forgets to eat, or, you know what I mean? Or, like, has worked hard to lose all this weight. It just depends on which circle you're in, but either way, you're passing judgment on things that you know nothing about. Brief interruption to tell you about today's surprise drop that is going to be live on site today. We're super excited about. But did you know we have surprise drops every single week?
You guys, there are new products, new patterns, new. Every single week on Constantly Varied Gear, if you aren't peeping the new drops, you're so missing out. And then, like, on the reg, we'll also be like, beep, surprise, this is
Like today.
dropping. Like today. And we don't tell you. We don't tell you what it is. You just go get surprised. I love surprises. I hate surprises, actually.
I love surprises. I hate surprises. Today's surprise is fierce, so go check it out on constantlyvariedgear.com.
So when we have this I'm concerned argument, and that is like the first thing that comes to our mind. And I know that when I am viewing women's bodies and I am viewing something that looks different to me than the body that they once had, I totally understand why that would be a knee-jerk reaction. Oh geez, I'm concerned. However, what we all collectively can do is back that up a step. It's okay to have a knee-jerk reaction, but we need to back that up a step and repeat to ourselves that we do not know enough about someone's health, especially a stranger, to comment on the health of their body through a public forum. And also, when it comes to young girls, seeing a thin person isn't nearly as damaging as hearing your role model, the women close to you, other women that you look up to commenting on a person's body. One is far more damaging than the other. We can view thin bodies, we could view larger bodies, we could view round bodies and square bodies and all kinds of different shapes and colors of bodies. And that isn't a damaging experience. The damaging experience is when we assign any kind of blame or morality or health judgment. That's where it gets damaging. So if we are under the impression somehow that our daughter's viewing someone in a thinner body is a damaging experience on its own, that's not the case. It's everything that comes after that, where we are feeling the need to judge said body. That's where the actual damage comes in.
You know what's interesting about this discussion too is that like one you have complete control over and the other you don't. And we are so willing to relinquish the control over these things and say like, well, they're damaging our children's views of bodies and what a healthy body looks like, instead of which you have absolutely no control over, is what other women are doing with their bodies. Again, we're so willing to hone in on that and not willing to check the discussion that we're having around the bodies and around like, why are we placing celebrities' bodies on a pedestal in the first place? These are just people. And we're not willing to check our own reaction to this. And I just want to empathize with for a second, because I think both of these things can exist at the same time. Millennial mothers at this moment are having a strong reaction to this. And I really feel, as much as I want to tell you that we need to shift this discussion and like what we've said in the podcast, I just want to empathize with you for a second, because I think a lot of you are coming from a place of fear and from a
It's
place
trauma.
of trauma
We did this.
of what we grew up with, and heroin chic, and this idea, a lifelong attempt to shrink ourselves and being rewarded for that. And when we see a glimpse of that and it touching our daughters, we are like going to war for it, because we're
No,
saying,
ma'am.
no, you're not doing that to her, right? And we're immediately in fight mode. And I want to acknowledge that, because it's so real. And I have felt this too, because I said that that's not what we're doing. She's not doing that. But then when we really take a step back, we realize that we are the ones that are in the driver's seat now. And we are the ones that are driving these conversations about bodies and about strength and how we talk about other women's bodies. And we really have an opportunity here to model what we want to see that discussion look like. And it's not judging another woman's body, because it's not up for your discussion.
Well, it's so weird too, because, you know, when we went through this the first time, The extent of the judging was through we were in the grocery store line, and then there's like National Enquirer, and there's a bad photo of a celebrity on a beach, and too skinny, cellulite, all of these things. There was no public online forum where you could scroll through thousands of comments of people literally just sounding off their opinion on someone else's body. It was a singular magazine. I don't know about you guys, but we weren't allowed to buy those. and and there wasn't this access to all of this judging of women. It was in very specific places and times, and you could turn it off. Um this is a little bit scarier, because we feel that there is this constant access to our daughters' opinions of themselves through these online forums. And I can imagine also that is a huge change for anyone who's in the public eye. It's like they used to have, one magazine talking about it, maybe. And now, I mean, you can go through like unbelievable like chains of all of these hate groups and all. It's wild. There's probably Facebook groups dedicated to like body changes in celebrities. I mean, it's unbelievable. But the only thing that we could do then and the only thing that we can do now is simply encourage anyone looking to just recognize that we cannot tell. We just don't know. Has her body changed? Yes, we can acknowledge that. And we can also say, we just don't know why. Some changes for bodies
Yeah.
are good. Some changes for bodies are hard. Some changes for bodies are neutral. We just don't know enough. And there are other things that we need to be crediting for women's accolades and success other than getting stuck on this one thing of let's all try to figure out why she weighs what she does right now. Like as if that's the most important thing about her.
I also want to say, as we talk about like the young girls and what they're noticing, if you're sitting here and you're like, I have a daughter and I'm in with this discussion, or this has impacted me in a certain way, and this is how I'm discussing it. I do want to say, and this is going to change with the age of your little one, but I would ask you if they're actually noticing. Or if they're reacting to the discussions around them. Because I will tell you this, my little girl is only 4, but she does notice a lot of things, but she didn't notice anything about the green girl is what Alphabet is, or Galinda, which we go over several times in our house. We have performances with it. We have the playlist. Like, this is a big thing in my house. And there's not been one mention of what if she looks different, if her body is different, and usually it's verbalized. There hasn't been a mention of it, and this will definitely change with age and blah blah blah. But I want to ask you guys if if these discussions are actually being led by the young girls, or if the young girls are reacting to the discussions led by the adults.
It's a hard mirror to turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you think you're getting out in front of something and you introduce a concept that was never even considered. And then you do like the whole opposite. I mean, we're
Yes.
all out here just
We're doing our
freaking
best.
trying to do our best.
Yeah, I
Parenting
totally.
is really hard.
The other day, Matt goes, parenting in 2026 is
Yo.
hard because I was
Yo.
like, can you stop? It's just things, because when we get new information, we try to do better, but it also puts pressure on us because, like, are we constantly saying the right thing? And we don't even know. I don't know. I don't have the answer to this. Rachel doesn't have the answer to this. But if this discussion makes sense to you in the way of like this is how we're thinking about it. This is how we would like these conversations to go. We are going to give you some like practical examples of maybe some things that you could say back, because I know for me, I have a podcast on this stuff. I talk about body image all the time. I talk about strength building, what we're doing. I talk about this stuff all the time, and I find myself getting caught up in, I don't know what to say about this right now. And we're talking about a body image thing, and I don't know what to say right now. So if you feel that way, like, I just wanna say, like, you're if that's how you feel, you're doing it right, because you're questioning the things around you, you're questioning your responses, and you're just trying to get it right. Baby girl, you're getting it right. Like,
We're proud of you.
we're
We're
proud
so
of you.
proud of you. And that is the ultimate reason for this podcast, right? Because like we started off saying like we don't want to talk about the thing we say not to talk about, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to have a conversation that gives language to maybe a way to do it different, maybe a way to do it better, maybe a way to just feel better in our own response,
Yeah.
where we can say like, okay, I wasn't completely caught off guard and I had thought this through and this is what I came up with. It's just so important to constantly be reevaluating. And as much as these celebrities are influential over young people, we're not going to say that they're not. They absolutely are. But full stop, the most influential person in your young person's life is you. It's never, ever going to be Ariana Grande.
You make
Okay.
the truth. You make the truth exactly what it is, though. Like, you know this by, like, if you say Santa's real, then Santa's real. Like, you know that, like, you make the truth in your home. Your words are very important. If you say things like, we don't judge other people's bodies, or like, you also look in the mirror and judge your own body, then, like, we have to look at that, because you are demonstrating what the truth is. I recently did this with makeup, that, like, sometimes we put on makeup to be fancy or to express ourselves, but like, makeup does not make me beautiful. I'm beautiful when I wake up in the morning. And it's important that you say that in front of your little girls, because like, they're watching your shit. They're
They're
it's a lot of
listening,
pressure.
they're watching. It's so much pressure. And also, damn, as if we didn't already have our trauma from the whole entire first round of Thin Above Everything. And it's so hard to be healing and creating examples
Mhm.
simultaneously.
But, like, think about that language, though. Like, if you're saying the same, if in the same moment you're saying, Ariana Grande is damaging the body image of my daughter, while you go on a diet and talk negatively about your body, I wanna tell you, this is just straight up, like, this is the truth. That language that you used in front of her about your own body is more damaging than what the hell Ariana Grande is doing.
100%. 100, and that's never gonna change, and that is a full ass responsibility that I know feels really, really heavy, but also it's one of those responsibilities where, like, would I rather have it in my hands or a stranger that I don't know? I'll take that, thanks. Thanks, I'll take it, even though it's heavy, even though it's hard, even though I'm healing from my own shit. I'm taking on that because at least I can have some control over who's steering the ship, because my I don't want the next generation of women's body image to be dependent around what one or
What
5 or
celebrity
10
comes up?
celebrities
Are we
decide
gonna have a
that.
Kim Kardashian? Are we gonna have a Beyonce? Are we gonna have a T Swift? Like, or who's the next thing? Like, that's what we're, like, hanging our hats on, like, what our future, like, what our children's body images are gonna hang their hats on, like, who
Not
might be
me.
the next celebrity? Like, not me.
Also,
Like,
that's just what they look like.
yes. Like,
Okay, or what they wanna look like with enhancements, but it's just one person and what they perceive themselves as wanting to look like, and it's just it comes from learning that bodies are not judged and they're not ranked. That's the baseline, and then after that, it becomes so much easier to have conversations and to see thin people and to see larger people and to see people who have underwent changes of their body. Well, no matter what, we always come back to our baseline. no bodies are being judged and no bodies are being ranked. So
I mean,
yeah, it
we
looks
we
different.
already did this before. Remember, Tanya Gold's article, with showing some larger bodies in athletic gear, and it's like, what are we telling our girls now? And it's like, that all bodies exist. Yes, that is actually true.
They have
Like-
seen that woman 9 times in Starbucks, but for some reason, putting her in activewear in a magazine is somehow influencing their whole entire image of themselves. Or, just an option here, maybe we don't want an image in a magazine to be where they build their self-image from. Maybe we can do better. And if you care about young girls and their body images, we should all refrain from commenting on other women's bodies.
Yes, all of us. This doesn't even, and I just want to say, like, this doesn't just apply to the people who are mothers and have young girls. Like, this is not isolated to you. This is, this next generation. They're always just looking around, they're looking at how girls talk to each other. If you listen to their discussion on the bath, they just redo like a conversation you had over the phone, and you're like,
Is that what you heard?
Is that what you heard? But like, and I'll see you there later. And I'm like, so it's not even just, it's just like how we are existing in this world is going to impact the next generation. So this isn't just for the mothers or the grandmothers or whatever. Like, you are all here, and like, you all have this responsibility. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Like,
you.
thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Yes, and showing up as your truest self. And I also want to mention along those same lines that this isn't just how we talk about celebrities.
Yes.
Okay, notice none of this conversation was, we're not commenting, judging, or ranking celebrity bodies.
Yeah.
Women's bodies, okay? So seeing your next door neighbor who has undergone some body changes and then going home and seeing within earshot, wow, she really got something,
Link. Mm-hmm.
is noticing, ranking, commenting on, judging another person's body. We're not doing it. We're not doing it to women. We're not doing it to men. It's a less of a problem, but we're still not doing it. We are not commenting.
But I just want to say too, as you say that, like, that's not just important for the young girls. Like, that's how you teach your sons to talk about and rank women's bodies. So like, all of that conversation is ones that they internalize, and they assume that they have the ability to then rank and comment on men's, but mostly other women's bodies. And that's something that is the center for me, is like, he's not going to learn, like, my son's not going to learn that, like, what you, what your space in this world is to judge, comment, or rank another a woman's body. That's not your place, buddy. And you're welcome to all the girls in the next generation, because the sons
He's
that are
the
coming
keeper.
yes, sons that are coming up in this will really, really be wonderful.
We got some good ones.
So you already know we make the best workout gear, but one of our best products, our highest rated product on our website, is actually our collagen. If you have not heard about Glow Up by CVG, you are missing out. There is almost 700 5-star reviews on this product because it is such an amazing supplement. Actually, looking at it today, there are only 2 1-stars that were meant to be 5 stars. They love the product, they hit the wrong amount of stars. This is one of our most popular products for a reason. It dissolves like no other collagen. It's type 1 and 3. You're going to have healthier skin, better joint mobility. Everything about this collagen makes it easy to put into your daily routine. So if you haven't tried Glow Up, get on cvg.com and make sure to add it to cart today. It's our best product.
All right, so what do we say
What do we
instead?
do?
What do we say instead? We know what not to do. Good, but not complete. Because, like you said, having these ready, fired statements is going to help so much with the in
Yep.
case it isn't coming from you, in case you replay this back and you say, no, like I have a teenage daughter. She's known Ariana Grande for years. And she said, oh my God, mom, she looks so different in Wicked. I've noticed like her body is so changed. What's going on? Like, what are we going to say? And here's where I come back to like, this is a very personal thing, but you can have some sort of like baselines where you're like building your commentary off of that I think might be helpful. Um, bodies change. Bodies change across life. That is
You know
a
what would
fact.
be so relatable talking about young people about this is that they know. You seen 6 months ago, they were a different they look like a different person. This is gonna resonate so hard with them, and what I feel like is one of the most important things that you could say, that I just say all the time, because, like, the bodies are gonna change, and that's a fact. That's a fact that you understand, and that maybe I'm just like fast forwarding to like, these littles being in their 30s. Maybe they're not going to be the ones saying, I'm trying to get back to my high school weight, because they understand that bodies change and that is not appropriate for a woman in her 30s. Appropriate to look like a child, and it's not appropriate to put child's bodies on a pedestal, because like the pedophilia that comes behind that is what we really need to like pull back and talk about, because like that's not what we're doing. That's disgusting. Like, bodies change and they're all great as they progress and go through life. And we're not constantly trying to go back to this, like, more you look like a child, the more desirable you are. That's fucking weird. And I'm going to call it what it is. But they're going to
So
get it. They're going to be like,
they
yeah,
are going to get
when
it.
you say like, hey, you're 2 inches tall. I've said this to my daughter. You look at your line. We do like lines of growth. We've changed so much. You're so much taller, you're stronger. And then we equate that, and guys can take this and like the how that works for you and like ages in your family, whatever. But we equate that to like different things that we can do. So we do like, and now you're able to do all of the full monkey bars. How cool is that? And you go on the big trampoline now and not the little trampoline, because we're bigger, we're stronger, and bodies change, and we have the ability to do more things as we are like more capable with a lot of this stuff. So they get that. They can get on board with that, and that changes the dynamic of bodies change to this kind of like negative, decrepit kind of like thing, into a positive of bodies change for a lot of reasons, and they give us the ability to do different, cooler things throughout life.
I mean, I
Like go
think
on
this
rides.
this goes across all ages, because telling a teenager bodies change is like, they're like, I know.
I know, poor things.
Poor things. Okay. Like literally overnight, sometimes they are waking up with things that weren't there before. So I think this works across all ages. And I also think it works across, yes, some changes are hard, some changes are neutral, some
Yes,
changes are positive. We don't know what this change is for her. We just don't know.
we just don't know.
But it's a
Mhm.
change. I'm noticing it too. Sure. Like we don't need to say like unsee that.
You
I
see what
mean,
you see.
yeah.
Yeah.
If she, if she's commenting that she looks different and you agree that she looks different, you can both agree she looks different. We just don't know if this change is a positive change, a neutral change, or a hard change for her. We just don't know. But she's changing, and all people change and all bodies change, and that's normal.
Mm. And honestly, like I always lead with this, like how and being inquisitive on what that means. So, sometimes I just say like, well, what does that mean to you? And without imposing like your own like immediate like knee jerk of like all of the trauma that we're bringing, sometimes like just asking follow-up questions in a truly curious way can lead the conversation into a better place, that you're
I
like, wow,
agree.
I didn't even have to like come up with some way like wisdom. I just like followed the lead, almost like my wisdom wasn't even here. It was just a question. What does that
Yeah,
mean to
because
you?
they
How does
didn't
that
come
make you
in with all
feel?
your baggage.
Yes.
So they're just
Mhm,
coming in with an honest answer of like, and if they do express concern,
mhm.
that makes me worried about her.
Yeah.
Um here okay, first of all, we're not going to ever say like, okay, there's no empathy allowed. But what we are going to say is we just can't tell. And so being concerned for her isn't really appropriate because we don't know enough about her health markers to be able to say if this is a positive change for her or if it's a negative change or if it's a neutral change. We just don't know. And
I think that
no
leads into the
one
next part of, like, health, though, like,
yeah,
like, a constant that we can always say and we can always repeat to people around us, which I think, like, it's easier to talk to children and say something like, "Health isn't something that we can see." I do feel like that's an easier thing to say rather than to your peers when they start bringing up this conversation, other women in your circle. Health isn't something that we can see. And saying that out loud is a really important, I think like this is a big like potential benefit for us for changing this entire language because like we really need to get all on board with that. You cannot see someone's health by your perception of what their body size is. Cut it out.
cut it out. I mean, we have to I mean, as we said, healing simultaneously as
Yeah,
teaching. So, yes, we have to unlearn some of the things that we have like stuck in there about health being something that you can judge. But even if you could see it, uh you're not in charge of it. Not in charge of anybody else's health.
you're not. You truly
So,
are not.
when we're kind of wrapping this all the way around and we're saying like, okay, we're celebrating body diversity but we're not spotlighting bodies, okay, like there is like a difference between hanging everything on what a body looks like and celebrating body diversity. I think maybe that's where sort of body neutrality comes in as more of like an approach of just like it's just not the most interesting thing that I'm noticing about her. So I was thinking about her performance, whatever you want to say. But if there is an expression of concern leading with we just don't know, health is not something we can see, and then kind of just obviously letting that simmer and then reinforcing the fact that women can exist without an explanation.
Yeah.
We are not owed an explanation for why Ariana Grande has blonde hair or brown hair, or red toenails or black toenails, or is X weight or X weight. We are not owed an explanation. So expressing concern indicates that you feel you are owed something. And that has to be the baseline if we really want societal change, is that no one owes you an explanation for the way that they look at any time.
They're living their life. What is
Literally,
another
it's just a reflection of them living their life.
Yes, 100%. Like, just like they're like and if you actually have a question, you just need to ask people, and that is where we can, actually find some answers from what people say, not your perception of what they are doing with their outward appearance. One of the things that I just wanted to another just, like, you could put in your little diary of things that we could say back is, like, we don't compare our bodies to other people's. So, I know that, like, there has been a lot of different just, like, thoughts or discussions in my house about like sh- noticing a dip we've done like hair recently, curly and straight hair, and I can see this as a battle, but we all have different we don't compare our bodies to everybody to anyone else's. They're not supposed to be the same, and if they were the same that would be so boring, right? Like this that's a kind of just the language that I go with it is like we don't compare, We live totally different lives. Theirs is beautiful, mine is beautiful. Curly hair is beautiful, straight hair is beautiful, and it's so amazing that they're different. That is a constant in my house where, like, they are different, and I know that you're noticing they're different, and both of them are awesome, and I wanna celebrate the fact that they are different, and we can do the same thing with bodies. Like, when commenting on a larger body or a smaller body, isn't it great how we're all so different? That is where we're celebrating. We're not gonna hone in on, like, what our judgment is for those bodies, and something that I kind of wanna insert within our, like, not what not to says is saying, like, when you're passing judgment on that's too thin or that's too big, whatever, when you're saying that's too thin and you think that you are helping this turn away from skinny culture coming back, because
I
you know
get
it's
why. I
I
get
get why.
why.
You know it's
I hear
damaging,
you.
you know all of those things. But when we start to insert that language of that's too thin, that's too much, that's not enough, and that doesn't meet my standards. And that's what we're really coming back to. And I just wanna put, like, sound the alarms on this, because, like, it comes from a place of good, it really does, but we cannot get to a place of great while we continue to reinforce the messaging of us passing judgment on the bodies, and there not being enough. In some way, they're not enough to what my standards are, and that matters.
It's so important. I saw this quote that just like was just like it for me when it came to researching this and looking around it on, changing bodies that are public and that get a lot of eyes on them. Um there was this quote that said, "I don't need to understand her body to respect her humanity."
Yeah.
And if that isn't it, the ultimate respect of someone's humanity is not passing judgment on not out of concern, not out of wanting better for the next generation, not out of your personal parameters of what makes you comfortable. It Humanity exists regardless. And we don't need an explanation. We don't need to understand. We aren't owed anything. And the more that we can push that to our younger generation, the less they will look outside themselves for who and what they want to be and
Yeah.
look like. So I think that's got to be the ultimate goal, and not shielding them from certain type of bodies that make us uncomfortable.
You know what? You know what's the most dangerous kind of, like, part of this is, like, we can all get on board with, like, the word commenting from a place of judgment and shame and, things like that. Where we kind of become a little bit more hesitant is where we're trying to comment from a place of giving a compliment and, "Oh, you look so thin, what are you doing?" Those are just as damaging as the other comments, and I just wanna, like, make sure that I throw that in there because, like, when we're not coming from a place of judgment and you decided, like, "No, no, I'm just paying this person a compliment by generally saying that they."
Judging, ranking,
Yes.
and commenting on their body.
It's hard, it really
It's
is, and I
hard.
I
It's hard.
understand it, guys, like, I just I and a lot of people are gonna leave this and be like, "Well, this is really hard, and I
It
get what
is.
you're saying, and I'm gonna try and do better," and that's really all that we can ask because, like, we're not gonna be perfect, and, there is a lot of places where, like, I wanna compliment other women, and I wanna tell them that I notice changes or I see that they're, trying or, that they're trying to better themselves in their lives in so many ways. But what I really want to shift the conversation away from is a physical appearance because you're not an ornament that we hang on the tree and tell you how pretty or not pretty you look, and that is built into your self worth. And that's where it becomes so dangerous because when we can start recognizing and complimenting other women on things that have nothing to do with their physical appearance, that's where we're elite. That's where we have dropped all of this because there are ways to compliment other women and there are ways, so many more beneficial, intuitive ways that we can lift and notice other women that do not have to do with the size of their body.
I wanna be elite.
I wanna be
I wanna
I
reach there.
do. I
I'm
do.
literally working every day. You guys, this is a societal
Yeah.
issue. This is not something we created. This is something we walked into, and it's certainly not going to be solved overnight. But these little microcosms of, you know, everybody's talking about so and so's weight is
Yeah.
another opportunity that we can shift this, that we can change it, and we can start pointing it into a more positive direction. And I wanted to end with a clip from Ariana, who was asked about this and gave a stunningly beautiful answer in an interview, and just let her say it in her own words, because she owes us no explanation, but her explanation was wildly beautiful. And so I figured it would be a good way to end, to just kind of let her explain it. So enjoy this clip, and we love you guys. We'll see you next week.
So I have heard it all. I've heard every version of it, of what's wrong with me, and then you fix it, and then it's wrong for different reasons. It's something that is uncomfortable no matter what scale you're experiencing it on. Even if you go to Thanksgiving dinner and someone's granny says, "Oh my God, you look skinnier, what happened?" Or "You look heavier, what happened?" It's like, that is something that is uncomfortable and horrible no matter where it's happening, no matter the scale it's happening on. And I think in today's society, there's a comfortability that we shouldn't have at all. Commenting on others' looks, appearance, what they think is going on behind the scenes, or health, or how they present themselves, you know, from what you're wearing to your body, to your face, to your everything. There's a comfortability that people have commenting on that I think is really dangerous. And I think it's dangerous for all parties involved.